Okay,
All right, so I call the order, the village board meeting here at Lisbon Village Hall on September 10th, 2025,
6:32 p.m.
6:32. Roll call, please.
President Gerke,
Here.
trustee Moonen,
Here.
trustee Vaughn,
Here.
trustee Quinn. Here. Trustee Beal. Here. Administrator Green
Here.
and clerk Capazzo.
All right, we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's item 3, our citizen comments. Anyone like to speak? I don't know. Anyone online besides Doug?
If anyone on Zoom would like to speak during citizen comment, please use the raise hand function. No hands raised on Zoom.
All right, well, on item 4, which is the consent agenda. Is there I don't need to read these individually, do I? No. All right, so is there a motion on the consent agenda, or does someone wish to pull anything off?
Just because I wasn't at the August 13th meeting, I really can't vote for it, but I could vote for the other two.
Actually, you can because they're the board's minutes. They're not the members' minutes.
Okay, no problem. I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
So motion to approve. Okay, is there a second? Second, all right. Is there any discussion? I just had one small item, which was on the no, I did not. Sorry. I gotta have myself. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item 5A is the accounts payable, authorize payments of the one-click bills dated August 28th, amount of $2,054.93. Right. Mark made the motion.
I'll second.
It's been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0. Item 5B is to authorize payments of the remaining bills dated August 28th, an amount of $213,427.86, and the September 5th for an additional $212,479.71.
I'll read the top 5 expenditures from 8/28/2025. $80,365.44 to Waukesha County Treasurer, $16,421.01 to U.S. Bank Corp, $14,000 to JP Cullen, $13,676.07 to Village of Sussex, and $12,449 to Poblocki Paving. And then the 9/5/25 top expenditures are $184,541.67 to the City of Milwaukee, $15,946.52 to Premier Building Inspections, $3,783.70 to Municipal Law and Litigation, $3,000 to Automatic Entrances, and $2,840.20 to both.
Just a question, and I could have asked this earlier, but the City of Pewaukee, the water study that was done, does that money come out of the, because that was
The quarry
out of
fund.
the quarry fund? Okay, that's what I assumed, but
Yep.
I have a question. On page 4, on the bottom, it says that village fees, $4,700.
that's the one that,
Which one?
Oh, the $213,000 one, the big one. Page 4.
one's 213, one's 212, but
Oh.
I get your point. 213 is bigger.
Oh,
The
I
first,
see.
the first one,
Okay,
that
yep.
dated August,
Yep.
28th.
On page 4, no, it just says $4,700 village fees. Could you please explain that, Dan?
Sorry, I'm still looking for what we're.
Okay, yeah, right. It's engineering fees. It starts off staff, some reimbursement, Aflac reimbursement.
The utility.
$4,700.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep. Yeah, I would have to look at the bill specifically. I'm sure it is. Thank you.
We'll look for that. Is there any other questions or discussion while we're
Mm-mm.
waiting for that?
That almost looks like a Brabazon pipe or a pump cost, but.
See, I don't know, because the one at Bill to Richmond, I don't know the village fees. I mean, is that for, Richmond School and, I don't think so, being 4,700.
Is
It
that the
says
one? Did I mail you that one? Or is that in?
No, that's. I think you did email me something, but it didn't explain really this one, so that's what I was kind of wondering. You can get hold of me or email me tomorrow.
I'll send, if we have a copy, I'll send you.
Perfect. Okay.
Utility locates. Coordinate flow information with Village of Sussex for the lift stations, Richmond School Well, Casey's Well, and Fire Station Well. And electric usage information, review flow information, update monthly flow charts. Prepare monthly utility report, attend a May meeting, coordination with Bravazon to order new pumps for Richmond School Lift Station, coordination with Dorner to install new pump once delivered. Coordination with Richmond School to wrap up temporary flow metering on June 9th. Coordinate same with Village DPW for well readings at school. Compile, begin to compile sewer flow and water usage information for comparison purposes, complete CMAR and submit to DNR following utility committee and village board review.
Now, the CMAR has to do with the utility. But
This is
some,
all utility related.
Yeah.
The entire bill is.
it's utilities.
Yep, the entire one.
Some
But
of
why does it say Richmond School though?
Some of
Because
it
the
is-
reimbursable to Richmond School is the $438.75.
Would you email that to me tomorrow?
Yep.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, is there a motion then? On these bills? We didn't have a motion, did we?
Did not.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the remaining bills. Is there a second? Second. Any additional discussion?
Mm-mm.
All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries 5-0. It's item 6 are the announcements and correspondence. We will have a village board budget workshop here next Tuesday, the 16th, starting at 5 o'clock. The Public Works and Utility Committee will have a meeting here at the Village Hall next Wednesday, the 17th at 5 o'clock. Joint Public Hearing and Bond Commission meeting Wednesday, September 24th at 6:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station.
Mark, I've got you on the rotation for that, yes? Oh, thank you.
Parks Committee meeting Wednesday, October 8th, 5 o'clock at the Village Hall. And then a village board meeting that same day at 6:30 here at the Village Hall. Is there any other announcements or correspondence to note? All right, we'll move on to item 7, which is the administrator's report. Dan?
So I've been working on the 2026 capital and operating budget. That includes going through the tax rate worksheet, looking at borrowing options for capital projects. And drafting the budgets for all the different funds that we have. I've been attending meetings regarding the water study with Strand, Land and Stone, so we're making some progress there, which is great. Worked on sending out the parks RFP, reviewing the parks, the proposals that came back, and then interviewing the different firms. Still was working on just dealing with our current insurance company, getting that insurance canceled, and then setting up the new insurance, going through all of the forms and the requirements that they were asking for. And I did want to mention to the board that the Katona Memorial sign was completed. And a small ceremony was held at the Stone Family Park. It was really nice. So if anybody hasn't seen it yet, take a drive over there. Find it out really well. And Mike Lund did a great job, him and his crew, on getting it nice and manicured with some flowers. Yeah, take a look. And
All right. Move on to item 8, which is unfinished business, discussion and necessary action regarding the project scope for updates of the comprehensive plan and the sewer service area. We have some more information here, Dan, and how these would work together. Do you want to provide an overview again?
Yeah, so I provided a memo just explaining that this came to the board last. The board approved the concept of moving forward with a comprehensive plan, and then looking at doing a full service area amendment through both our current planning firm and their engineering side would handle the sewer part. Their planning side would handle the comprehensive plan portion. And the cost estimates came in. I believe Tom had thrown out this rough figure at the meeting last time, and so his scope and the figure that came back was I believe right on where he had mentioned at the meeting. The part that wasn't talked about at the last meeting was a comprehensive plan amendment update and what that would cost, which is not part of that sewer service area amendment. So that would be estimated cost of $50,000 to do the full comprehensive plan amendment for the village. And in speaking with Matt and some other folks about how this would work, or how I imagined it working, would be that we want to make sure that comprehensive plan amendment or comprehensive plan piece starts first. And we want to be able to, I look at the comp plan as more of a feasibility study as to whether we can get sewer going. And so that what we do with the comp plan is going to dictate what we can do with the sewer service area. So I think if we're going to do this, we should do a full dive into the comp plan, and maybe let that dictate how the sewer service amendment goes. And I guess part of that would be so that we don't spend 50 grand on a comp plan amendment, find out that the plan commissioner board is not willing or wanting to change any land uses to make sewer feasible for areas of the village. And then we spend another 80 to 100 grand be turned down by sewer pack because we don't have the land use or the densities that we require. So I know that was of some concern, and that's how I kind of rationalize it, I guess, is moving forward where, you know, I don't anticipate budgeting $100,000 in this budget for the full sewer service amendment, because I don't think we'll be there that quickly. I think there's a lot of work to do on our comp plan before we get to the budget. I have it as a discussion, and I don't have a requested action because guys are the board that can decide whether to spend the money or not.
Was there anything that these guys are gonna do about our ticking time bomb down at Richmond?
Well, I mean, this whole process is to do something about that, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, like in the near term, do you plan if something's gonna happen? Like a better one than just emergency fix? Like if they did that, if we did this, could they start there first, so we have a plan just in case we have an emergency, that's not just a big Band-Aid?
Well, if we did that, we'd have to look at at what the comprehensive plan says in that area. And determine whether the density would work to expand that sewer area. And then we'd probably do a minor sewer amendment at that point just to fix it. So that would speed up the timeline, but that wasn't the recommendation of the public works.
Anyway,
Unfortunately, if something did happen. Originally, we would likely be bound to some of the current limitations we have. Effective.
that's what I was thinking, if they plan, did have to plan first, then we'd actually just have a piece of the plan, and we could just do the real fix instead of wasting money on a Band-Aid and then doing the real fix down the line.
Well, I think if we get through this and we can't extend sewer in that area, well, then you're looking at, you know exactly what you need to do. You need to replace your two
Yeah.
enforce main with the appropriate size that works, and then figure out a funding option for that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this. I was just gonna say, this doesn't just look at that area, though. It looks at,
Yeah.
you know, other area, growth areas too. And the comprehensive plan, I think I had mentioned in the last meeting, but we only did a minor comprehensive plan when we incorporated, basically so that we could incorporate it. And this, we still have references from the county's comprehensive plan of 2009. We still have town and half of our comp plan documents. It's time we get that updated and we look at what we actually want for our village and not maybe what the county did back in.
I think, Rob, your point, I mean, is makes sense. I mean, that the fact that that's the area that we know something needs to be
Yeah, I
done.
just didn't want to try to spend twice on it if they could do that part first, but that's not how that all works.
If something goes wrong. In short term, there will be some, I mean, there'll be a lot of decisions whether it's repairing. As it is. We don't really even know what's in the ground because there's no as-built plans that we can. Scorch up. I mean, if we get going on the the comp plan amendment is, as it's detailed in here, I mean, it's pretty, there's a lot involved, but the land use component is. The highlight of it all, right? I mean, and that's the most important thing that ties into. The sewer expansion plan, so. I think we'll know pretty early on in the process, though, I mean, we'll get some good feeling for. How much, what scale changes. The committee or the board is desiring to make.
I was just thinking if they did a small plan just for that area, so we have it ready to go. If it does break, then we can, then they do this big part next.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think.
So,
I think we'll be limited by what our current arrangements are.
Well, the comp plan looks at more than this, it's more than a, oh, I mean, it is a plan, it's a
Yeah.
long document that describes, you know. Who are your residents, who are your future residents, what are your future populations going to be? It looks at your growth areas, it looks at your needs and, so as much as, yes, the map will dictate the, future densities or the future uses. Those also have to be decided based on all of the work prior to that from the Census Bureau or from whatever different departments and state departments that we gather data from or that both gather data from. So it's a little bit more in depth than that. We're not just going to throw out densities thinking, well, this piece of land looks like it could house, you know, nice subdivision. It's a little bit more in depth than.
The comp plan first.
And that's, I mean, that's the fact that it's more than just the map is detailed in the memo that included in the packet. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't, I would suggest going back and reading our current comp plan. It's highly irrelevant to what become. I mean, unfortunately, it was a lot of language just to comply with the current statute in 2009. So it was quite interesting to see how much has changed since that was written and how much we've grown, so, I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's no brainer, it's the vision, long and short term for the community, so it'll be money well spent. It'll be the voice of all the people that'll have an opportunity to give comment eventually. And, it's money well spent. But to update it, I don't think would be possible. Some of them, if it's in there.
Yeah. I'll do it back with the previous one here for them right now. That we qualify this.
So for the comp plan. We talk about the steering committee in the documents. We can discuss that a little bit, what the board would envision. I mean, whether that would be, to throw out a couple different suggestions. As far as the thing, I mean, it could be everyone, I mean, it could attend the meetings from the plan commission, the board. And the public works in the utility department or committee. Could be a subset of that group. I mean, I think certainly everyone's invited to those meetings. If it's a committee, I guess. If we're taking formal action, we would need to have. Have it
Yeah,
defined.
there's a statutorily defined
Yeah.
procedure for it.
So I don't know if there's any strong feelings on that, but I guess, I mean, we have some. Those are the three obvious. Committee members that would be. That should sit on it in my mind. I mean, whether we have. Additional residents who are interested. I mean, we can put that out there and see if. I don't know if any come to mind or if any have expressed interest in the past
I can think of a few.
that are not already on the plan. Okay, all right,
Yeah, we can put a list of names together for you.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have another meeting or two to figure that out. This one. Figure out.
How many people we're talking about for the community?
I think that there was a number in here. I must have missed that if there was.
It's supposed to be an odd number.
With the committees that, oh, 6 meetings, sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean. I think we should have a desire for as many people from those three committees and boards to attend every meeting, whether or not they're officially voting members or not. I mean, everyone should, I mean, because that'll make the whole process a lot smoother if everyone has
I'll be
their input throughout the process.
There was 6 on the last.
All right, so. I mean, this is agendized for action, but I mean, you're fine with just providing more direction on timing, or do you want a formal motion?
I'd like a formal motion because we have the scopes and we have the amount here, so I guess I'd like to see it. I know we had a formal motion to approve, but now that we actually have the finances, I'd like to.
Okay, I thought I heard you say earlier you had discussion on this. I must have missed. Sorry,
No,
so-
that there wasn't requested action on the staff member.
Yeah, I just didn't make a recommendation.
all right. So I guess I would like this, I think we've had enough previous discussion where we move forward with the comp plan. And we put the sewer service area amendment kind of on hold until we get our ducks in a row, which is the comprehensive plan. That, and I've seen some nodding of heads.
Mhm.
Well, I think we have to figure out what it's gonna look like rather than picking the candidate. I just totally agree with that. We just gotta do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my intention wasn't to say that we put the sewer service area on hold, because I think there's some pieces of that will coordinate with the comprehensive plan. I just think that you're gonna see a top heavy expense on the comp plan, because that's what their main focus is, but I think they're still going to be doing some work. Because there's also a lot of investigation they have to do in the sewer service amendment, that goes on while the comp plan is going.
Can that be generic enough where it's, depending on the scope, I mean, of what ends up happening, that's all usable information and it doesn't get ahead of itself if we have a more limited area or if it's, we can use it no matter what.
I don't know, I mean.
Or can we give that
Uh,
direction, I
you say
guess?
We have Tom here from Coast, I don't know, you wanna ask him and we can see.
Sure, step on up, Tom. Nice to see you again.
Actually, let me speak. Yeah, it's an iterative process. That I think you're alluding to, Dan, is that, one of the first steps would be is, hey, Oren, hey, planning team, these are the likely areas. If you recall, I had a map up showing planned areas and already approved sewer service areas, one of them being the Richmond School area, which is we would have first, and then get that in the queue and be able to break that off if needed and come up with a contingency plan. That is also in there to come up with a contingency plan if, a pump expenditure, on your agenda earlier to come up with a contingency plan for that, but this iterative process. So yes, step at a time, we would say, hey, planning team, here are sewer connections to Sussex right now. Here's where previously planned areas were. Does that fit now? Well, an engineering would stop, technical side would stop, and then turn over to the planning commission and that committee. So then it would be the iterative process that, hey, this area here that was planned before, this doesn't make sense. So one of the items I listed there was an audit. That's what it'd be. It's not accounting, but a mapping audit, if you will. This area doesn't make sense anymore. This subdivision doesn't make sense anymore. Take it out. You don't need that flow. Let's use that flow somewhere else if you want to. But plan for these areas so they can be included, but that doesn't mean they have to be included. But if you don't plan them, it's not going to happen for sure. So that's that iterative process, and it takes a while. It takes a year. And that early step, if one of the items in the scope that Oren had provided was talked about examining utilities. That's not just sewer, that's everything. It's integrated these days for a long time, how your areas can develop internet access and all that stuff goes into that. So power is key too. So anyway, that's the process, and we would, 2025, we're not gonna burn through $100,000 worth of effort. That's not gonna happen. It's likely that first step is like what I illustrated, and then it's gonna go to Oren and the committee. And it'll probably, that process will take 6 months. At least. And then from there, if it's showing that, hey, it's not feasible in this area, we just take it out. And this is, the engineering scope is not lump sum. We would cut that out. So if it doesn't take $80,000, it doesn't take $80,000. We stop. It's the only effort. The process of getting the Richmond School area, sewer service area amended. The beauty of doing it all at once, you're doing that whole process with sewer plant all at once. So there is that economy of scale there of doing that process all together. They like to see it all together, but it doesn't have to be that way. Again, if you want to break off at any point and say, let's do Richmond in this area for now, we can do that. I think I answered. Hope I answered your question.
All right, anyone else have any questions for Tom, or any additional discussion, or ready for a motion? Right, so we could have a motion to approve moving forward with the comprehensive plan. And then the extent of the sewer service area, that would be. That we need a little more direction there, I guess, right? I mean, if I guess how much we're moving forward, how much we're expected to be spending before we finish the comprehensive plan.
I think it just depends on what the results of the comprehensive plan are and the feasibility of it, I guess, is my own point to that. So, I mean, if we move along with the comp plan and work has to be done in the sewer service area as well in conjunction. And then the comp plan is finished and we say, hey, this looks good, let's go forward with the sewer pack with the full amendment, then great, it worked out great. If we do the comp plan and we find that densities don't work in certain areas and now the scope is limited to Richmond School or to that area, well, then at least we have a solution for that. If we can't get the comp plan to work for any of the areas, well, then we stop the sewer service area amendment altogether and say, well, now we gotta look at an option for replacing that fourth main. But I guess we don't know until we look at it. So that's why, I mean, I still think it makes sense to do these together because I don't wanna, tie one hand behind the back of the people that are doing service area. I'm just saying that, if you're concerned about the budget, well, yeah, it could be 80 grand or it could be 40 grand, depending on what the results are, but I think we have the money in the budget to be able to do the full extent, both of these options.
Would you start off with a comprehensive plan first, make sure, I don't want to be, I have a misunderstanding, I don't want to misunderstand you. So we
Yeah.
do the comprehensive first and we see what the results are?
I think they'll
And
do
then we
them
move
both.
on.
I think they'll do them both together because I think the results of a meeting of the comprehensive plan amendment, you're looking at certain areas. Well, if the result of one of the meetings said, yeah, we want to put a little higher density over here. Well, then Oren's gonna talk to Tom and say, hey, this is kind of the direction we're going. Let's look into this. So I think it'll probably be a lot of back and forth between the two to try to make it work. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would anticipate there being a partnership relationship like that.
Absolutely, yeah. There's sewer sheds, there's one of the terms we use for that. We look at the most cost effective ways without getting into whole technical, we just look at gravity, those are most cost effective ways. Hey, Oren, here's the most cost effective areas. If this density is a little outside that, that comes up, we'd say, okay, let's look at that. Okay, we did a lift station, up into this sewer shed, then we have to take out these areas that don't look like they're gonna be sewered any. So that's that iterative process that we're talking about.
I guess so, as long as the sewer service work is not being done prior to there being a consensus from the, committee that's working on the land use plan amendment. I mean, then I could be comfortable with doing them both together, but I mean, I wouldn't want anything. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves with that, without there being clear direction on planning for density, but there's no appetite for that increased density.
Understood, yeah. The technical calculations, the pipe sizing, the pump sizing, talking to Sussex, looking at intermunicipal agreements. In terms of what that would mean, capacity at the treatment plant, none of that would be done until you've reached a consensus.
So I just want to refresh the board. We do have an approved motion for last. So it's to approve moving forward with the 2050 comprehensive plan. And authorize fourth engineering to move forward with sewer area expansion. With cost to be relayed to the village administrator in 2 weeks' time. Motion carried. Let everybody know that motion is still,
We need another one?
Well, I think the spirit of making an additional motion is to update it with cost. Approvals. The direction's already set, would essentially bring it back up better. It was, the 2 weeks' time was for costs to be relayed, relaying the cost.
Someone could just make a motion to reaffirm board stance from last month. That's what you're trying to say. I don't want to put words. in-
No, I guess,
I'll-
cut away from discussion, but I can update that. I'll make a motion to approve moving forward with a 2050 comprehensive plan and authorize Folsom Engineering to move forward with the sewer area expansion. With cost estimated at 80 to 100,000 for the sewer service area amendment. And cost estimated of $50,000 for the comprehensive plan with a total project cost of 130 to 150. 130,000 to 100.
I'll second.
All right, additional discussion. So I guess a note here that what you provided for the comprehensive plan was a will not exceed number, right? And the other one for the sewer service area is more of a of an estimate.
Right.
Lump sum fee for all tasks noted below not to exceed $50,000.
Yeah,
That's what it says.
told Aaron not to, or Orin not to exceed 50,000. So we had a discussion and a little negotiation. He said he will make sure to keep it at 50,000.
And that's what Orin's memo says, will not exceed. I think your memo is maybe just change the word slightly, but I mean, but I don't want to make it clear that when we
Well,
have a,
It could be less, so I
Sure,
put
right,
estimated
right.
thinking it.
but it won't be more. I mean, I think that this is, assuming the scope is what it's laid out. I mean, if we expand the scope, then all bets are off. But if we're, for what we were asking to be done here, we have that quote. The sewer service area, I mean, we're on the same page, and expectations are that we're not gonna be putting in $100,000 in our budget for 2026 to have that all done.
No, I don't. I think I have 55,000 in that budget, expecting that they're probably not gonna finish in 1 year. It's probably gonna be.
55,000 for the total between the two, right?
I have 50,000 for the comp plan.
I
And
saw you had the 50,000 for the comp
and
plan.
I have 55,000, I believe it is, for the sewer service area for next year.
I do have a concern about getting ahead of ourselves there. I really do.
I think it makes sense that we go over the map as a board. Where we. At least just get a rough idea, so they don't start working on stuff that we're all gonna say never will happen.
Am I misunderstanding though, as this process is going, there's gonna be a committee, a steering committee that's gonna be like monitoring this as we go along, so it's not like they're gonna be doing something. And then make decisions and then bring it here and be like, well, this is what we've decided, there's gonna be a committee that's gonna work alongside them, am I wrong about that?
Yeah,
That's correct.
But we still have to all agree on land.
Right,
you have to agree on everything.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just the
I
land
mean-
use plan, they're gonna submit a sewer analysis and sewer pack. They're gonna run by the sewer analysis with the plan commission, with the village board. And then you guys make the ultimate decision.
right, so it's not gonna be. They're gonna take it and run with it, and make the decisions, and then come to us and say, this is what we decided, it'll be a.
But if we have a committee that made up of 6 members, which includes only 2 board members, and makes a recommendation to go nuts with density, and this board has no desire to go nuts with density throughout the village. I mean, I think that's maybe the concern that you're,
During the public participation portion of the comp plan.
so I mean, I think the direction doesn't come specifically from just the committee. It comes, I mean, the committee hopefully will, and this maybe will be happening when we appoint our members to the committee. We'll be listening to what the 5 of us have this to say on density.
That makes sense to me.
There's public comment, the requirement for doing a comprehensive plan is you need the public input. So you will get public input, whether it's through neighborhood meetings, public hearings, or whatever avenues, or both. But that is a requirement for a member. And then they will make ultimately make a recommendation of the plan commission and then through the report. But you guys will also be part of those public comments and hear residents and be able to make comments as well. So it's very interactive, and you guys are gonna be touching every piece of this process going forward.
I'm comfortable with the comp plan process. I'm just, the sewer plan getting ahead of itself is based on what that committee planned, is that's. You just don't, I would like to think that it's gonna go out, everything's gonna go smoothly, but you just don't know.
Well, the whole force behind the comprehensive plan amendment is because we need to look at our sewer service area and we can make corrective actions to that area that specific area in Richmond School, but then also look at other growth areas.
You don't think we would be moving ahead with the comp plan amendments if not for the,
I think
sewer?
we could probably wait longer to get it done, but but this provides us with a great opportunity to get it done. So. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the main driving forces to do the comp plan amendment is because we need it.
How do most other municipalities handle that? Do they do them together or do they do their comp plan before they get into the other thing?
It's a blend of this. I mean, the first part, the technical part that we described before, that scenario of us providing some technical to the comp plan force team is necessary. And once the comp plan is done, then it kicks in all the rest of the technical stuff, flow generation. We can't generate flows until we know what your plan uses are. That's all it's unit factors we use for that. So we can't do anything until that already stops moving. So we can't get ahead of ourselves. We're not gonna be ahead of the board by any means for sure. And we can't get ahead of the plan committee for that matter until we say that, okay, this area is in, this area is out. These are the land uses. Then we can't go any further until we have that. But we have to do some, you've got intermunicipal agreements, you've got some agreements they have, capacity you've already purchased. There's sewers already out there, there's sewers that you shared in. So we need to tell the planning team, these are the areas that are out there. They don't know where those are. We need to decipher those documents and those maps. And if there's not any in that data too, we also have to create those areas. Just say there's 5 connections. There's 5 areas that would be, Lauren's gonna look at all your land uses, but there's 5 areas that would say, okay, does it make sense? Next sewer in this area. No, we don't want sewer in this area anymore. That goes away. We don't have to look at it. Richmond, that's gonna be an area. So that's area 1. And I've already told Lauren that that's an area, because you can't take the whole building and go in front of this committee and say, let's get our colored pencils and have at it. You gotta focus on areas. What I'm recommending, and I believe Lauren agrees, that let's look at neighborhoods and focus areas first. And then start with Richmond. That we need to break that off, we can, and we counterclockwise around the building, so clockwise around the building. So, but again, we can't get ahead of, that's a waste of time and money. We're not gonna do that, we can't do that.
so I think if there's a direction that, yes, they're not getting ahead of themselves on the sewer service area. And that we plan on having, we have reports on how much is being spent on that periodically, and then they will not exceed what we put in the budget for 2026 as well. So that's whether that be 55,000 or more or less. I mean, that process is going to play itself out here in the next month or two.
How did you come up with 55,000 when it's 8,200? I'm just curious.
My thought process was that they're probably this is not going to take 1 year, it's going to take a period of time, and the comp plan is going to take a period of time. And as Tom alluded to, a lot of the work that they're going to do, the deep dive into the heavier workload is going to be after the comprehensive plan is done. So I figured a lot of that work will probably fall into 2027, not all.
Yeah, I know. I was just curious at the 55.
I mean, it was
That
a
was all.
number I pulled out of my head, but I just
Yeah.
figured it was a reasonable amount of money that it should get them to the point they need to be at it by the end of 20.
You just use your good judgment.
Yeah. Good or bad.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah. I think we're just clarifying our motion from last month and get forward.
Right, so if this moves forward, we reaffirm this, we'll start with the comp plan. I mean, very quickly, we'll have, we can appoint members as soon as the next month, you think?
I'll reach out to Warren right away. He'll probably give us some guidance on how that whole process works. And then address it at the next village board meeting or even prior to that, and we'll have a discussion on what process we need to take.
Plan commission has to make a resolution recommending. That's the first step.
Yes, approve this tonight, we'll meet with Warren.
It's been approved, already.
It's been approved in global concept, now we're doing our diligence of applying the funds to it.
So if you start with the comprehensive, do you start with both of them at the same time? I just need a clarification. Or if you don't, when does the other part come in?
We start at the same time,
Both of them.
both of them. But the engineering side will be minimal at first. For identifying those areas that I described, and then Orange gonna be. So. Just thinking out loud. It's already going into October, so. The scenario is very likely that this is gonna go into 27.
Oh, yeah.
Just, these things just take time. You know, you're meeting a month at a time, and you're going over areas, so. So the first part would be some engineering and then Orange going, so by the end of the year, we would probably spend some of that, very little of that, identifying which areas are likely. And here you go, so then Orange would come back. And that's something we would need to discuss, you want to do area by area, come back area by area. Or wait till each area is done, so then we wouldn't pick this up again until next year. About this time. You know, where that, all that technical stuff that I talked about, flow generation, pipe set, pump size, talking stuff, because we're not gonna talk to anybody else until this board has said both. You know, talk to Sussex, talk to, you know, if there's any, any of the intermunicipal, any of the interceptors, anything with Valley Falls, they're talking about using up majority, if not all, the rest of the interceptor during, so there's some discussions that, we'll need to have and report back to you about what those results are.
So I'm a little confused with the 6-person board. Okay. You do your job and then you come back to the board what you recommend, or does the board have anything to say about it?
So the board is, this committee, the 6-person committee.
Yeah.
If that's the set number, is going to meet over the course of a year. I
Yeah.
think it's exciting here that it typically will do 6 meetings every other month.
Sure.
So that's gives you a year. So if we start with this, by the end of this year, I mean, and everything else is moving together along with that. I mean, we're looking at the comp plan amendment moving forward as quickly as possible, but probably best case scenario is that we get the process, is done by towards the end of next year. Right? I mean, if I'm understanding.
No, they're both the same time, he said.
Well, but that happens
Hard.
first, that's gonna be completed hopefully by December of, let's say, December of 26. And at sometimes, while we move forward in the process and there's enough direction given in that process, these sewer service areas and how that will change or could be attracted to having sewer service area additions can be done, but not until there is clear direction from the committee and this board.
We're basically going area by area. Let's say we start by Richmond. Everybody's in agreement, then they start actually calculating for that part because we're all ready to go. That's 100% in, and then we move to the next block of area.
And I think it makes the most sense.
Engineering that.
If we're picking 6 areas or whatever we're picking, we pick the areas that are most likely to have the desire for sewer service, and if then we can leave the northern portion, until the end where we're, unlikely to want to have sewer service, or it practically can realistically happen.
But then you can start on Richmond right away doing the actual flow
think-
calculations and all that stuff.
We're on the same page there, and I think that's the one or two areas that I'm open for land use plan changes. I mean. It might be in others, but I know for sure that's potentially has more appeal. Does that answer the question?
Somewhat. I'm just confused. They kind of check and see what's best for the town from their own judgment to say what they recommend. Because I know there's some areas in the town, they've got land, but unless you talk to the owner, you don't know what his plans are. So we're spending money to do something and you talk to the owner after, he doesn't want to do this.
So land, So, as I said, the land use plan amendment and what is going to be what is. The land use plan calls for what is the maximum effectively what you can do, or gives you a range of what you can do.
Yeah,
Whether the property owner plans on developing it next week, next month, or
10
next
years. Yeah,
decade,
yeah.
we don't
okay,
know, but that's,
okay.
that's.
See, I missed
Yeah.
this last month. That's what I'm trying to catch up, sorry. Okay,
So, I mean, just some things, there'll be options for us. It looks like the Citizen Advisory Committee was their responsibility in our last comp plan amendment was yielded to the planning commission. So we didn't stand up a citizen advisory for our last, that was in 21, that was the case. But there's options for public participation.
okay.
I know it's not part of our motion, but I think the discussion we've had and the expectations and the sewers service and how we're gonna move forward at the speed and the timing. I'm more comfortable than I was previously. I think some heads nod
Mhm.
as well. So, and you understand, I think you understand where we're coming
This is
from.
a great discussion. Yeah, so, no, it's seriously.
Clumsy, but I think we got
No,
there.
I mean that. Yeah, it's a good discussion. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 9A is discussion and necessary action on the changed order request for the Pierce tender truck. Doug, did you hang around for this whole discussion? I think you did, right?
Yep, Doug's still there on Zoom.
You want to unmute yourself, Doug? There
All
you go.
right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay,
So we appreciate the information provided, the memo. Do you want to kind of highlight that, or should we ask you questions, or Dan, how do you want to move
Well,
forward?
I didn't know if Doug was available to speak or not, but you saw his memo that was written that outlines why the certain expenditures or additions were added to these. The attachment for the deck gun, which was important because that deck gun is expensive. As you noted in the memo, they tried to remove it from the truck that we sold. They couldn't get it out, so this would.
Well, they got the gun out, but not the piping.
Not the connection piece, so that they want to utilize. There's some lights that they want to put in the back that would help with, when they're first at response, where it helps with, if it's dark out, there's a crash that it helps to just mark that area. And then I think he added some other small cab, storage facilities in the truck that weren't previously on the original build. So the total is $7,857. Went through these with Doug. I didn't see any issues with them. I don't think they were way outside of the scope, and some of these items are requirements for the Pewaukee Fire Department as well. So my recommendation is to approve, and we do have a fire department sinking fund that we can use these funds. Otherwise, we can use them from the general fund as well. So however you choose to do it, if you want to approve it.
So there was a previous borrow for this, though?
There was a borrow, but the borrow was intended for something else that never got completed. So I think we ended up taking a portion of that borrow for the truck, and then the other portion was from the sinking fund for it. So
We increase what we're spending here, it comes out of the sinking fund, because the loan has already been fully exhausted.
Correct.
Okay.
unless you wanted to go through just the general fund and take it out of. I know we're anticipated to be under budget this year, so you could take this $8,000 from there. It's potato potato.
And I'm sorry, what did you say about Pewaukee?
In his memo, Doug states that Pewaukee has specific requirements for their trucks that they wanted, and I'm trying to find that spot. The electric exhaust compressed air
So
connection
they requested certain things.
standards that Pewaukee Fire
Okay.
Department.
Now, this is our truck though, right? Lisbon's truck?
It is our.
We don't donate it or,
It's ours, if it's ours, yes, it's ours.
but they can use it anytime.
They use it
You guys
every
use it
time.
every day, right?
Yeah. No, at Pewaukee. They use it every
Yeah.
day though. Yeah.
So- Yes, we have one. What do we have? I mean, yes, we have one engine,
Mhm.
Two tenders.
2 tenders, 2 ambulances.
Mhm.
That's our main
Exactly.
equipment.
Yeah.
I think, yes, that's owned by us, but used by the department.
Right.
And we're not gonna have to switch back these lines because we already have them in place here.
Yeah.
So if we gotta change it back, we take it back.
And have you talked with Doug on throughout this process? Do you have anything else to add?
No, man, go for it. It's all just kind of standard stuff. Could argue about how much it costs to paint the shelf, but there's really isn't much we could do about it. But it is,
And you agree that it's all,
you know, everything looks normal.
anything else to add, Doug, before we make a motion then?
I think most of the things that we're talking about here are about safety for the guys and to keep consistency and standardization of the trucks between all of the trucks between Pewaukee and Lisbon. It's important for that to happen. And this amount of money doesn't seem to be, in my opinion, a great amount of money. We're still saving a lot of money on the deck gun itself. It's kind of unfortunate we couldn't get all the plumbing out of the truck, but we are still using older equipment. We took other equipment off of existing trucks and moved them over already to get as much savings and value as we can. But I think these extra lights and the things that we're doing here for this particular truck, which is going to be cross-staffed with 2 guys responding north and might end up on a lot of calls initially by themselves, need this equipment, and I think it's kind of a safety issue.
Rob, do you want to make a motion on this item then? Or anyone else?
And I'll make a motion to approve the change order for the tender.
Is
I
there a-
second.
all right. That works.
Mhm.
I got Robin, Linda.
Mhm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion? We need to clarify it with the price since we have it.
I've got $7,857 even.
Or not to exceed.
I'll amend it to say not to exceed $7,857.
And I always say that.
All right. Any additional discussion?
No, I think, just discussion on the fact that, thank you, Mr. Brown, for your input as well as historical perspective on this.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's nice seeing all you guys again.
Yeah. You're welcome here anytime, Doug.
You don't have your camera on, Doug, so we can't see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was working on some other stuff, so can't let you see that.
I understand. But thank you. Right, hearing no additional discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Item 9B is discussion and necessary action to award the contract for the Parks Improvement Project. Dan or Paula, who's taking the lead here?
I'll let Dan.
Oh,
go
thank
for it.
you. All right, so we sent out RFPs in August to different different firms, engineering firms, specific firms that do this type of park work. We ended up, I think, 6 different firms we sent them out to. We got two to respond, and a couple responded just saying, like I think Ari Smith said, it's not really something that we do. Same with Rupert Noki. But we did get 2 responses, so I held interviews with both on Wednesday. One was Foth and their partnering company Harwood, and the other one was Parkitecture. The both Harwood quote came back a little higher. They were in the $27,000 range, or a little higher than that. Architecture came in less at 23,670. Just the feeling I got and the passion for these park projects really came through in architecture. I thought I had to talk a lot less during that interview because he was just a plethora of information. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of opportunities that I thought he spelled out very clearly that Harwood both kind of beat around the bush, but didn't necessarily give me a clear answer, including the grant writing piece. Architecture offers full from start to finish grant writing for us at just a flat rate of $2,000. Both, they have departments that help with grant writing, but I didn't feel that there was a high level of confidence that they could get that done. Architecture right away said, yep, we do grant writing 4 to 5 times a year. Gave me a price up front. Their parks that they have done, I've seen them. I haven't seen a lot that Fulton Harwood did, maybe one. But they did the park in Menominee Falls, the downtown park. They just opened the park on Lindsay Road for the city of Pewaukee. They did that one. And you can see they provided ample parks, and they also provided clear budgets for those parks as well that gave me an expectation of what we can expect. So I reviewed the interviews with Paula, and just based on my notes, and I don't know, Paula, if you got to actually watch the interviews or not, but I think we both agreed that this is the route that we wanted to go in. So I'm looking for a motion from this body to approve the concept plan, or approve the proposed scope of work by for the Parks Improvement Project submitted by Architecture, and my recommendation is to have a total cost not to exceed $25,670, and that includes a $2,000 portion for that grant writing piece. And
That's the recommended motion. Is there someone I can make that motion?
I will definitely make that motion, yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, I didn't want to cut you off, Dan, but you made the recommended motion, so
Okay.
cleanly, I just wanted to, but so you want anything else you wanted to add there? I'm sorry.
not really, I'm really excited to work with Blake from Architecture. All their staff this is what they do, they focus on, and I think it's gonna be a great project and can't wait to get started.
Excuse me, did you say 26,670?
25, 6.
Well, then, I thought you said 26, I'm going, no, it's 25. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I did watch the interviews, and I totally agree with what Dan said. Architecture, this is like what they live for. Not that that's, the overriding reason you make the decision, but Dan did kind of ask them a lot of questions about, could there be cost savings? Could we bundle things? And Blake just really has such a command of this. He would be in charge of the project from start to finish, so it's not going to be handed off in department to department. Just listening to them, you just get a good feeling about them. Plus they did come in a little bit lower, and they've got this grant rating piece, which, that's something that we've talked on the park committee a lot about, because this stuff is just so expensive. And, if we can get some, because we connect to the bug line, so that opens up a whole bunch of other things for us. These guys are experts at it. So we wouldn't have to, put any, ask the staff that works here to try to figure out how to do this stuff, because there's just definitely a cadence to writing these grants and a way to do it. I had looked into it earlier on, and it's, it was way, you need like a 2-credit college course to write these things, so.
Or 3.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that they're experts at it, I think will end up benefiting us a lot in the long run, that we'll have really good chances to get some additional monies that we weren't expecting that'll offset this, so. Yeah, I would be excited to, get moving on this, and plus with the schedule too, because we do have a bit of a tight schedule that we're trying to work with. I didn't get a real feel of confidence with Bob on that either, but Architecture, he was like, yeah, we'll work with you, we'll make it happen, kind of thing, so.
Yeah,
What kind of schedule are you talking about?
Well, we want to get,
I think we want to start getting surveys out in the next month or two, and then we want to get construction started in early summer.
yeah,
Okay.
So
yeah. It's in, the schedule is in here. I wouldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it is in here.
Okay.
So anyway.
So this is for the
That's my
plan,
two
this is the
cents.
planning, and then before we move forward with,
Read more, Linda.
they talk about their fees.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that,
Thank
I
you.
mean, so I don't want to save a couple thousand here if they're way more expensive.
So.
on the fees for the engineering design
Oh,
and
here it is.
bidding services, is that pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same. It's like a 5% of the total cost of the project, which is what folks came out to be. So they're right there, but they said there could be some cost savings depending on the size of the project as well. So if you are,
Architecture said that?
yeah, so if, you know, if there's certain elements that are kind of tied together, or you have a contractor that's doing one thing, but also he used an example of like, if you're paving a parking lot, but then you're doing like a pickleball court and those contractors both do the same work, then you could potentially save money in that regard. But he had a lot of different other options that we would consider, including timing of when we actually go to bid for certain projects based on when they're cheaper to do it, when grant money comes in, the timing for when those grants actually have to be applied for, and then when the funds are received. So he had a very put together his answers, so
Okay,
made
good.
me feel very confident.
Any other questions for Dan or Paula, or Paula, anything else to add?
Mm-mm.
No, I think we would do well with them. I do.
So they're gonna work with the Parks Committee on, you know, what goes, they like ideas, or if they're missing something that we wanted. and all that kind of stuff.
Well, primarily with Dan, but the,
Yeah.
well, Parks Committee, we were talking about it at the meeting. I mean, the Parks Committee, we kept up to date on what's going on, and we'll, you know, make reports to the board occasionally too. I'm sure this thing's moving along.
I'm sure the individuals here will come to at least one Parks Committee meeting, right?
They'll come to a Parks Committee meeting, they'll come to a board meeting, they'll also hold. Whether we do it virtually or in person, like a neighborhood meeting, that type of thing. He said they get better responses virtually because it's just easier for people to not have to get out of their home. But yes, you guys will be kept in the loop on the project as it. But the engineering and, you know, the engineering letting and the bidding after they bring some concepts to us, and then we decide what concept looks the best that we want to forward with.
All right, is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Always say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Item 10 is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Always say nay. Motion carries 5-0.
I got 7:39 PM.
Wow.